going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of CryptoZombie. Welcome back to the channel. I know you're having a good day today because we just had a massive Bitcoin pump. Now tell me that the last 24 hours has not been absolutely totally exciting for everyone out there in the crypto space. In fact, from the bottom of this move all the way up to the top, Bitcoin pumped 15.6% in about 24 hours. Now, I know everyone is excited. Everyone is saying that, the bottom is in, the bull run is back on. And as much as we all want to be excited right now, we need to talk about what is going on. It is the weekend for Bitcoin. And, we had some massive liquidations for the shorts. So a moment of silence, please, for the bears who have recently just got wrecked. All right, enough about the poor bears. Hey, they had their chance. They had 3 good months of being bearish, but now, I'm sorry, my friends. Sorry, bears. It is time for the Bitcoin bulls to step back in. And clearly with this 16% move, well, they are obviously buying and buying hard right now. Now, is this enough? Are we just going back into a major bull run? Well, we'll talk about that, but you can see right here, 2 days ago, I had actually spoke about how we were forming this descending broadening wedge, which is traditionally seen in markets across the world as a reversal pattern. And I noticed that we had 3 points of contact, and this is why I said we were probably looking for a massively bullish move. Now, in all fairness, I wasn't expecting it to happen the next day. I actually did think we were going to have a little bit more sideways downwards price action, but nevertheless, we have broken out of it today. And also, we are, in fact, above the 21 exponential on the daily. Now, yes, we did have a little bit of a fake out back here, so anything is possible. But in today's video, we are going to talk about all of that, what to expect short term. It is the weekend, so we know things can get a little bit crazy. And I also want to talk about a massively radical bill coming out of the U.S., coming out of the Congress of the U.S., and a lot of people are saying this could be a bullish precursor to what is to come. So if you are interested in all of that, definitely stick around to the end of this video. We're going to have a lot of fun, and I'll try to keep it short. We know that sometimes that's not possible. And of course, if you are not subscribed, definitely consider it. Let's dive into the chart. So as I showed you guys, we did have this 15.63% move, which was pretty incredible. And we did, in fact, break out of this descending broadening wedge. So we've accomplished that, right? We know that that is what's going on. We've established this, but this is what we need to talk about. So there is something that we have been absolutely waiting for over 6 months for Bitcoin, and it has finally happened. And that is the fact that if you look right here, my friends, now we do have one more day on this 3-day chart for confirmation. So we do have to see what happens tomorrow. We have to see how the candles close over the next day. But we have officially left the blue zone of the Super Guppy, and the Super Guppy has switched back into the gray territory. This usually signals a reversal for the Bitcoin price, and generally we see a big continuation of this move. Now, you could see we did speak about when this had happened back here. Now, the reason that we went into the red was because we had massive capitulation during the COVID crash. Now, you don't have to necessarily go into the red. The red just shows massive capitulation, and honestly, once you get into the red anyway, we've usually recovered from that point. But you could see right here that we essentially were looking to put in something like this double bottom, like we did back here. We first went into the blue zone in November 30th of 2019, and we came out of the second one March 28th of 2020. And you could see that we did put in this double bottom pattern for Bitcoin. And once we came out of it, obviously, it usually always signals an uptrend, but we do know that this doesn't mean we're at the end of the move. It just means that we are starting to attempt the recovery. We came into the second one right here, and we did continue the move to the upside. Now look at what we've had. Something very similar, right? So obviously we had this massive capitulation. We fell out of the green band. We came down here into the red zone. We saw this, final capitulation down here, and we started our first uptrend, which we then had the double top that a lot of people were scared about. We started to come back down. Once again, right here, you could see this red arrow. We had the big candle, even though technically the capitulation did happen in the next 3-day candle, but this is essentially where that selling happened. And right now, my friends, as you can see, plain as day, we are moving back into the gray zone. Now, obviously, we need one more day to confirm this candle because we are using the 3-day on the Super Guppy. But my friends, if we do establish this zone turning back into the gray, well, you know what usually follows that? A strong uptrend followed by the green Super Guppy band. And we know historically, once we do tend to go into these green bands, you know, you can see back here, look at this massive green band. We started in November 21st of 2015, and this went all the way till March of 2018. Now, of course, the price had fallen down a little bit by then, but from bottom to top, you know, just from when we got that signal, the price essentially pumped 7,058% from a $4.69 billion market cap to a $335 billion market cap from Bitcoin. And yeah, that could definitely be in the cards for us. We could be entering into the next major phase for Bitcoin. Now, you can see right here that we were looking at these, you know, falling wedge patterns, and every single time we put these in, we usually do have a move to the upside. I've been saying this literally for months on the channel, and essentially all we were doing right here was just putting in a larger version of the falling wedge pattern that we had seen back here. Now, we are hitting a bit of resistance. In fact, we are hitting the critical resistance, the resistance that I spoke about, and I had anticipated us hitting some form of resistance at these levels, and that is around $41,600. The significance of this level being that it was in fact the resistance when we had this massive run up. Bitcoin was all the way down below $10,000 and we shot all the way up in a massive move to 42,000. This was a very significant move for Bitcoin, a very significant top. In fact, some people thought that that was the top of the market. Well, we know in hindsight that was nowhere near the top of the market. And personally, I don't think that this Bitcoin bull run is over. We still have a $190,000 Bitcoin target for the top of this market. And it could be sometime at the end of this year, maybe even the beginning of next year. But I still believe that we are far from over when this bull run is being looked at right now. So the thing that we do need to note, though, is that we have had a CME futures gap, okay? It is the weekend. We know that weekend trading, don't take it too seriously. So this level to pay attention to is $40,750. Really not too far from where we are today. So I would expect minimally for Bitcoin to at least see a pullback back down to around that $40,000 level, just so we can close that CME futures gap, right? And, you know, obviously, you know, talking about the bullish case, yes, we do usually end up pumping back up to the bottom of the 50 daily moving average right here. So having a look at that, even if, you know, you look at this and this does start to have a little bit of a curve down like this, and then it moves back up, you're still looking at a potential Bitcoin target of around $47,000 based off of just the surge that we got from this move. Now, obviously, this could take a month. It could take 2 months to get to that level, but I do anticipate that we will be revisiting the high $47,000 at $47,000 level at some point within the next month or so, right? But having a look at what we are seeing, we do have some sort of supports we need to pay attention to. The two major supports that I'm looking at are these bands right in here. So it's two levels. It's somewhere in the middle. I'm not going to make an exact prediction of where it could fall, but you can see right here, the first possibility. Let me actually make this a little bigger and pull it up so you guys can see it. Essentially right here. So these are our two levels that we're looking at. So, you know, could we see Bitcoin, you know, come down something like this and then retouch this first level? So the first level that I'm looking at is around $38,000 even. And the second level that I'm looking at is around $36,500 with the absolute bare bottom being around 33, but you really don't want to go back down to 33 again. It's a possibility. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I think the more likely case is, you know, maybe over the course of the next week or so, Bitcoin does a quick retest of around the $37,800, $38,000 level, right? Now, I am going to say this. You guys know on this channel, I am not a fan of shorting Bitcoin. I didn't short Bitcoin during this entire move. And sure, you might be laughing at me saying, well, you missed out on making a lot of money. Fine, guys. Look, I can literally count on my hand the times I've shorted Bitcoin, and it never feels good for me because I believe in Bitcoin. I don't like shorting it. I like to actually just buy Bitcoin during the dips. But what I do like to do is long into these strength moves, these strong moves to the upside. So if we do get a confirmation of a reversal, because we don't have a true confirmation just yet. In fact, we're hitting resistance right now, which is sort of like the opposite of confirmation. We're hitting the resistance, right? So we're not confirmed just yet. It was a beautiful move, but man, I will tell you something. If we do get confirmation on this move to the upside, I will be looking to massively long the same way that we did back here. If you guys were, back during the, back in 2020, I mean, we were longing this pretty much all the way from the bottom to the top, and that's essentially how I like to trade. I like Bitcoin. I prefer to long it. I feel better at night sleeping knowing that I'm betting with Bitcoin, not against it. And another thing too is a lot of people make a mistake when they're shorting. They short using the asset. You should actually short using a stable coin. Just because if you're shorting using Bitcoin and then you're getting more Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is losing value because it's going down, it's actually a lot better to do it using stable coins and then just buy in at the level, once you close out your short. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, make sure that you guys watch the tutorials that I have. One of them's popping up above. I have over $8,000 in bonuses just for you guys. Super easy to sign up. Takes like 20 seconds. You deposit it and then you get your bonus to trade with. But I recommend you guys follow the tutorials first so you don't make a lot of mistakes that these new traders make. Definitely don't use high leverage. And if you are brand new to it, don't even use real money. Use paper money, use the test trading accounts so you can get comfortable with some of these strategies. So all of that is below in the description of the video if you want to check that out for sure. But, the one thing that we were looking at specifically and why I really thought also that Bitcoin was looking for a move to the upside, not just because of what we were seeing on the charts, but also the fact that we had the dollar index hitting some legacy resistance right here. And you could see right here on the weekly chart, the dollar has been struggling to break above this level. Look at this. It had resistance here. It had resistance here. It had resistance here. Now, sure, you could say maybe it's forming a bit of a, asymmetrical triangle because it has put in higher lows. Sure, we could say that, but I mean, guys, look, if this was any other chart, I'd say, okay, there's probably a possibility, but we're talking about the dollar here, and we know that the dollar has done absolutely nothing but essentially just continue to fall lower and lower and lower as inflation runs rampant, and I don't care what Powell and the friends are saying over at the FMOC. I think anything that they're doing is temporary. I don't think inflation and what's happening right now is transitory. I completely disagree with that. I think it's an actual reflection of what is happening right now in the monetary system. But you guys already know how I feel about that. So ultimately, like I said, those are the two levels that I'm looking at. So, the most important levels for Bitcoin to stay above is the $38,000 level. I do anticipate possibly a retest of that level just to confirm that we are in fact building the structure to the upside. And the lowest that I'd want to go personally is around 36,500. So these could be good levels if you are looking to long, but because we don't have that certainty just yet, maybe just chill out. Wait until we, it's like, okay, this is a bit of a rant. But so, I was having a conversation a few years ago. I used to do a lot more interviews on the channel. I used to do a lot. We don't really do those. If you want me to do interviews, let me know. I'm happy to have guests on because it's just me talking a lot. But, one of the biggest problems is people are trying to time the bottom so hardcore. But you know what? I tell people I'm not going to keep trying to catch a falling knife, especially when it comes to some of these altcoins. I don't mind if I miss the first 20% or 25%. That's fine with me. I'm okay with that. If I can get the tail end, if I get the remaining 75% of the move, I don't care if I missed out on timing the bottom, because when you're buying into these downward moves, unless you believe in your accumulating, like with Bitcoin, I don't care. I'll buy at any level. But some of these altcoins, you kind of got to be careful because of the cycle. So if you're just buying as it keeps falling and falling and falling, you could end up in a position where you're just so unbelievably, buried and, upside down on your price buy-in level that, it could be really frustrating to sit through that. So what I like to wait for is those key reversals. So what I'm looking for is I'm waiting for Bitcoin to essentially come down, either retest 38 or 36,430, but right in that range. Let's say 36,000 as the low, okay? I want to see a nice test right there. I want to see a bounce, and then I want to see us reclaim the $42,000 resistance right here where we're being trapped. Also, look at the significance of this level, because this is exactly where we had this wick from the capitulation. And look, you draw a straight line across right here, and look at this, exactly where we're getting stomped out right now. Very important level, very critical level. So essentially, like I said, what you want to see super quick, and the reason I'm just going into this is because it's the weekend. There's not really much else to talk about. You want to see something like this, come down, reclaim this area, come up here, break through it, then come back down, retest the $42,000 level, and then continue to the upside. Once we get that move right there, that to me says green light pedal to the metal, we are going full throttle. And I personally will start trading this trend, okay? But I'm not going to be doing anything too hectic until we have that confirmation. Because without that confirmation, all we had was this really cool move that happened in 24 hours. And, you can't be getting too excited just yet. But I'm just trying to keep things balanced and in perspective here. Look, realistically speaking, guys, we were well overdue for a bounce. In fact, Crypto Burb pointed out, if you just look at these oversold positions, the last time that Bitcoin was this oversold was right here at the bottom of the bear market in 2019. Boom, massive pump up to almost $14,000. And the next time that we had it right here, although a lot of people attributed this to President Xi from China, he had come out and said some stuff about blockchain, but we had this incredible, it was like a 40% or 38% freaking blow off candle that we had in one day. Now, although we did continue downwards from that point, the point that I'm trying to make is that there always was a massive move to the upside. And considering that we've been consolidating for well over a year and we have had a lot of support at that $30,000 level, then I do think that we could be forming a massive just accumulation zone for Bitcoin. And honestly, once we break out of this zone, I think it would be very unlikely to ever see Bitcoin come down to these levels again, like never below $40,000. Probably ever again, or like worst case scenario in the next 80% bear market crash, which could happen in like 2024 or 2023, the end of it. Maybe we come down and retest these levels, but I don't see us coming back to these levels for quite a long time. In fact, Credible Crypto pointed out, characteristics of a 1-2 or start of a new impulse is strong moves up, shallow pullbacks, continuation, which is what I was talking about with, longing those dips. And he says that the first chart right here is from the $11,000 to $12,000 bounce before the breakout and run to 60,000. And this second chart right here is what's happening now. And he says what he expects to play out to further confirm the major fifth has already started. So even he points out, you're looking for probably some kind of a retest down here, confirmation, breakout, right? Although I would like to see a breakout confirmation of the 42,000 and then a continuation of the breakout. But I mean, hey, if we just blast right through it, I guess I could take that too, right? I'll take that too. So let's end on some bullish news that's happening right now in Congress. So we have a bipartisan group of U.S. House representatives that have reintroduced a bill that would exempt people from paying taxes on Bitcoin and crypto payments under $200. Now, $200, seems a little bit small. Seems like maybe they're just kind of doing this just to seem like they're doing the right thing. But I do think it is a step in the right direction. So according to Congressman David Schwerkert, he's from Arizona. I don't know, probably said his name wrong. Anyway, virtual currency is reshaping our everyday lives, he says, and the United States needs to recognize this and work to treat these currencies fairly in our tax code. This legislation is an important step forward, and it lays the groundwork for the growing digital economy. So you do have to see what is happening. And also, just wanted to end on this news. Our good old buddy, Ted Cruz from Texas, according to the financial disclosure filed on Friday the 4th, apparently Ted Cruz bought between $15,000 and $50,000 worth of Bitcoin using River Brokerage. And just to point out, he has advocated for the acceptance of cryptocurrency payments at gift shops and vending machines in the U.S. Capitol complex and opposed a provision in the recent infrastructure bill that critics said would extend the definition of a broker to miners and potentially even validators and coders. So, like I said, guys, having a look at Bitcoin, seeing what's going on right now, definitely an impressive move, definitely something that we really needed to see. Breaking out of this descending broadening wedge was absolutely incredible. Breaking above this 21 exponential, absolutely incredible. The Super Guppy, like I said, guys, we got one more day and we may be officially out of the blue zone, entering into the gray zone. And we did fall out of the falling wedge, and we did have the RSI finally breaking out of its multi-month downtrend. So there's a lot of really bullish things happening for Bitcoin right now. Obviously, we're still, what are we down from top to bottom? We're still down 40%. So, nothing to be super celebrating over just yet. I still do consider these prices to be amazing discounts for those who are dollar cost averaging. Could we go lower? Sure. But, let's see what happens leading into the week. I think Monday, Tuesday, and probably next week as a whole is going to be really important in defining whether or not this move that we just saw is as significant as everyone is making it out to seem. But that being said, that is it for me today, guys. Like, not too much going on in the news. Mostly just wanted to focus on the charts. People are getting excited. They're I don't know what people are doing. Selling their cars, selling the kids, not paying the mortgage. I don't know. Some people do some crazy things to buy Bitcoin. So obviously be safe out there. Don't do anything that's going to put you in a financial situation that you're going to regret. But overall, yes, it is a good opportunity right now, in my humble opinion, not financial advice, to be accumulating Bitcoin. And as we do continue to move, if we do move into this uptrend, which looks like we could be forming the beginning of an uptrend, then this is like I said, guys, this is like when I like to trade. I have made the majority of my money on these uptrends, longing the dips on the uptrends, and then on the downtrends, I just essentially dollar cost average because I like to accumulate. So that's my strategy. Hey, everyone has their own, but if you are interested, definitely get subscribed because it could be exciting times, and I will certainly be sharing with you, what I'm doing, what I'm trading, when that moment presents itself. Right now, really, all I've been doing is just dollar cost averaging and just trying to accumulate. So that is it. I have talked way too much in today's video. That is enough for me. Tomorrow is another day. I don't know if I'll be able to make a video tomorrow or not. Just going to give you guys a heads up, but I will definitely be back on Monday. Tomorrow is going to be a little bit of an iffy day for me. But I think this video is long enough for both days, and I think we covered enough for both days. So that's it for me. I love you guys. You're awesome. Be safe out there. And if you are looking to trade cryptocurrencies using leverage, I don't recommend it for beginners. Use a test account in the beginning, okay, so you can get used to it. And I highly recommend that you follow these 2 tutorials that are popping up right here, right now. Check them out. My name's K-Dub. Until next time, stay crypto. And of course, peace out.